Guys, it's me. I'm back.
What's up, party people?
We're like, Max, come on. All right, this show is taking a turn for the.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Monster Bash Live. We got a banger of a show for you today. We are talking about a big announcement, and we're gonna have Chris and a few guests on. And I'm really excited to share that news with you. But before I do, I'm pretty excited about football being back. I don't know how you guys spent your weekend, but mine started really early. And clearly my girlfriend doesn't understand what a letter of resignation means. Because I woke up on Sunday morning. You know, I'm all excited. I'm ready to make my wings, my ribs. I got all this stuff. I'm on the couch. I got a bottle of champagne. I even have a lady coming to give me an IV to give me the energy back that I spent from birthday weekend, not mine, but my girlfriend's. And I get a text message, and she asked me to go to the grocery store to buy a bunch of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you don't understand. And then, of course, it hits me that it's birthday weekend, and I don't really get a choice in this. And my letter of resignation only goes so far. So I went to the grocery store, got her stuff, came back. I didn't make any of it. I sat on the couch. My friends came over. We watched football. I got my IV. We drank champagne all day and celebrated the fact that football's back. I don't know who your team is, but I do want to give a special shout out today to all the Carolina Panther fans. All four of you. Now, I don't know if you guys saw what happened at the end of last season, but there were like 100 people in the stands. And while the rest of the NFL is going up and up and up like that, I went on StubHub today, and I can get really good tickets to the Carolina Panthers for $18. So if you're a Carolina Panther fan, I'm begging you, go show some support. It's $18. Now, you'll spend $200 in parking, but, get over it. My fantasy team smoked it this week. I feel really good about my team this year. And I feel really good about the season. And I'm really grateful I'm not a New York Jets fan because, my God, they've been building up to this since Aaron Rodgers went out in week 1 last year. And they showed up on Monday Night Football and played like, I don't know if they're playing possum or what they're doing, but it looked awful. Awful. It looks like another season of JUNK for the Jets. Awful. All right, so today's 9/11, and I do want to take a minute to acknowledge today. I forgot that I even wrote the letter that was mailed out. I remember when the email team asked if I'd write a letter and send something out for 9/11. I was like, yeah, sure. And 9/11 is a really important day because it changed the way that I looked at life forever because, I had a reservation on the flight that went down. I didn't. I did. Finally, my wife at the time says to me, "Oh no, we're going home the night before." And of course, I listened, and thankfully, I'm alive today because of it. And so, it's 23 years later. We should never forget because a lot of people's lives changed. And it was interesting. I got a lot of text messages today from people that shared stories that some haven't shared publicly about their experience and how some of our own listeners that are on this show every week, some of them had appointments to be in the tower that day and for their own variety of reasons ended up not being there. And so it's just a day that has really it's changed the way I look at life because you can prepare for anything you want, but you can't prevent anything from happening. And so I think that if you look at life with an open heart and a lot of gratitude, you're going to live a much happier one. And so for everyone that's lives were changed forever that day, my heart goes out to you guys. Yeah. So we got a great show for you. Today we're going to make an announcement. We're going to make an announcement about a company that we're going to purchase. And I'm going to tell you all about that in a little bit. I also want to remind everyone that golden tickets are back. So this month's box have a golden ticket in it. You know the routine. At the end of the show, I'm going to pick a number. And if you've got that number, you can email a picture of you and the ticket to marketing@monsterbass.com, and we'll send you a little something for tuning in and being part of the Monster Bass community. It's our way of saying thank you. Thank you for supporting us, supporting the show, and all that good stuff. The last couple weeks, it's been just me, and I've had a really good time, but it's a little lonely. And, Chris has been on the road, and so we're going to bring him in just a second and see what he's up to. But as a reminder, you can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you like to, consume your podcasts. If you like what you see, make sure you give us the big thumbs up, because it goes a long way in helping me spend money on things like Liquid Death and Bubbly instead of therapy. So, all right. So I hope you guys are liking the boxes that are coming out. I know we're delayed by a couple of days. My apologies. Labor Day did cost us a few days, and we're all caught up, so everything should be coming to you guys now. And I can't wait to hear what you guys catch, or hear what your thoughts are, and see what you're catching. Can't hear what you're catching unless you guys invite me fishing. Since none of you guys have, I guess I'll just have to stick to Monster Bash Monday, which we'll get to a little bit later in the show. So let's not wait any longer. Let's bring Chris on and see what he's up to. I know he's on the road. How you doing, man?
Hey, it's good. We're still on the road. We're up here in Oregon and looking for spots to fish. We got Oregon. I'm heading towards Washington, so maybe we have some monster bass people that I can connect with next few days. So having a good trip. Was in San Francisco, did a fun run. 13,000 friends of Diplo, the DJ, and got to announce that event, and then heading up to Seattle right now. So it's been good.
That's sick. What's in Seattle?
Seattle's the next run. It's a stop. Diplo, if you know music and DJs, and this guy is rocking it. So Seattle is the next, it's the stop of the Diplo Run Club. So we'll have about 10,000 people up there. We got music, DJs. They go on a 5K run, and I get to hang out and be the announcer, MC of that whole thing. So it's kind of fun.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's been a good.
Where else will this road show take you?
2025. The list is as far as the Middle East. They're talking London, Paris. We're talking like 10 locations across the United States. So we'll keep you posted where I'm traveling. My goal is to fish at all these spots. So I just posted that I was cruising through Oregon, and a couple of buddies, they're like, "Are you fishing? What's going on?" So I'm like, "I got rods, I got gear. My goal is to bring the monster bass gear wherever I go and prove it across the United States." So we'll see what happens.
I like that. Well,
cool.
Yeah, we got a great show for you. We're going to make a few announcements.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. It's been, I don't know what the weather's been like up there, but here it's been like 110 degrees.
It was dumping. I just drove through a rainstorm. It was insane, and it's still kind of warm and muggy. And I don't know, Oregon. All I can tell you is I pulled off the freeway. I got some gas. I drove by a smoke shop. I drove by another smoke shop. And then the third smoke shop, there's a golf cart that's actually a mushroom. And so I parked about 15 feet from it. So I don't know what they do in Oregon, but they seem to maybe be participating in some kind of smoking endeavor. But yeah, weather's been crazy. And it looks like it's raining in Seattle. So big surprise there.
Well, when I found out you were going on a road show, and when we were talking about the episode, you were talking about truck stops. And I'm not going to lie, you guys were throwing around terms I'd never heard of. Like, I didn't know truck stops had showers.
Yeah. So I asked you, I'm like, shower stall 3 now available. So that's when you're in line, you get your slippers on, you slip into shower stall 3, freshen up on the road. And then, you know, I threw out that term, I don't know, lot lizard. That
Yeah.
may ring with some people. They may know. You can find a companion at some truck stops, and there's just different names for different things.
Oh my
I'm
God.
curious if we've got like a chat going or whatever, because I can't see, but I got this. This is one of the trucks. This is an essential road trip. So I don't even know where my camera's at, but you got to have pork.
rinds.
Got to have pork rinds when you're cruising
Yeah.
in the truck. I mean, I got 840 miles to go in a 26-foot box truck. So, pork rinds, energy drinks, caffeine. That's road essential. So let me know what's your favorite snack when you're on the road? Because I know you've driven some.
I
But it sounds
mean,
like you're kind of a truck stop newbie, and it's
I'm
like you got
definitely.
your loves. But what do you like to stop and get?
That's a good question. I'm a
Yeah.
big. I'm a big fan of cheese curds. I'm a big fan of beef jerky. Like I haven't been on a really good road trip in a long time.
But beef
And
jerky. So can you qualify beef jerky? Because of course. So we're talking road food. I got my beef jerky.
sure.
But are you a beef stick kind of guy? Are you a Slim
Eh,
Jim? Because
nah. I want a
we did
bag
that
of.
around Christmas time.
I want a
Yeah.
bag
What
of
do you
meat.
got?
Yeah. I want a bag of sliced dried beef. I'm not looking for some snack, Macho Man Randy Savage Slim Jims. It's not my thing. I mean,
Well,
I'll
it's fair
I'll
enough.
eat them, but I'd much rather have a bag of T-Rex's beef jerky.
Yeah. Where are we with the Monster Bass beef jerky, by the way? Because
And
I
we
mean,
talked
now
a
we're
lot.
talking.
We talked a
Yeah.
lot about it, but we never followed through with it. I just don't know. I mean, it feels like it'd be a really good thing to do. I mean, I watch Andrew Flair, and he's I granted it's the magic of cinematography, but he makes it look like he's moving warehouses full of beef jerky. Now maybe he is, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
know,
think there's a connection with truck stop food, early morning fishing trips. I think that's the carryover is your favorite
mhm.
snacks. You grab them when you're on the road, same kind of thing. I mean, as you're up going fishing, if you want to be there dawn patrol, you're stopping at places like 7-Eleven, 24 hours. So you get used to those snacks and you're living. I could live my life from a 7-Eleven. My parents owned one when I was a little kid, and
Of
I think that's
course,
just it's in my blood. So,
yeah. But then you eat.
eating
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the 3-day old egg salad sandwich. Once you
Oh,
can if you can stomach that, you can live on anything like an old diesel. So I think it's important.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What's next? Pickled eggs, and then that big pork sausage, the triple X heater or whatever they call them. I don't know.
Yeah, the bagged pickle. Like you want something good, the bagged pickle. You grab yourself, like the huge big jug of whether it's I'll tell you, Mountain Dew mixed with some Pepsi or Coke. You go half and half. Yeah. Try that sometime when you're on the road. Double dip into that. Get yourself a bagged pickle, maybe some of the taquitos up front, and you're good for another couple hundred miles.
Am I talking to Chris or Rafi's son Milo? I mean, this
No,
feels like something Milo would do. Like I'm gonna
no.
mix Pepsi and Coke and Mountain Dew and orange soda together and make something up.
You got to remember, like I go back home and I'm eating like we got kombucha and everything's organic, and you got to live a certain way at home, but on the road anything goes. So you got to live a little.
Yeah,
That's good.
evidently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, all right. Today we're talking about lead sucks, and the reason why we're talking about this is that I had the opportunity. An opportunity came my way to purchase a company, and when it was brought to me, it's a tungsten brand, and when it was brought to me, I was like, "This is the dumbest idea, Rick. Why are you even entertaining this?" Because a 3/8 ounce worm weight is a 3/8 ounce worm weight. Whether you buy it from Woo, Epic, Strike King, it doesn't matter. It's the same darn thing. So why would I ever buy this company? And more importantly, why is this guy selling it? Right?
Yeah.
And and so I started doing a little bit of research around tungsten, and I learned a little bit. And there's about 4 factories overseas that make this stuff. There's a couple here in the United States. You can't tell the difference between a 3/8 ounce worm weight from any one of these 4 factories. You can't tell the difference between the one made in the United States versus the one made overseas. And so why would I even entertain this idea? And It got me thinking, because anytime we send something that's lead, we do our best, but sometimes it's really hard. When we send it to those, whatever it is, 13 states, mostly in the northeast part of the country, where a lot of those Ivy League schools are, immediately the phone lines open up and everyone's talking about, you sent me lead, I can't use it. It's banned in my state because it's really bad for the waters. You're polluting, you're doing this, you're doing that. And and they're not wrong, right? They're not wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
And so this company is well, I'm not gonna hide the fact. So there was a brand called First Contact Tungsten. It was the second brand owned by Bass Reaper Bait Company. So Greg, the owner of Bass Reaper Bait Company, had a tungsten brand, and he just wasn't doing much with it. He didn't really advertise it, didn't do much. It was just add-ons for, you buy this worm, well, you might as well buy these weights.
Yeah, you're already shopping. That makes sense.
And that was actually a common thread. Like, I was talking with Jim at X Zone, and he said the same thing. I said, why are you in the tungsten game? He's like, well, you need to buy weights when you're buying the plastic. So let me set up the pairings, and I'll sell you some. He's like, I'm not looking to get rich on it, but I'm just looking to make sure that it's mine. And so this company was already selling product at Tackle Warehouse. So I thought to myself, okay, I don't even need to try and get it in retail. It's already there. They just need some marketing behind it. Maybe I can pick this up pretty, on the cheap. And then the light bulb went off. And I thought to myself, what if we could get a group of veterans together and buy this company? And what if we could be truly veteran owned? Because there are some brands out there in the tungsten space that talk about it, but they're not really 51% owned and operated by veterans. And so I thought to myself, all right, let's get together a group of guys. Let's make it 51% owned by veterans, and let's see if we can't do some good with this. And so I put together a group of investors, and I bought the company. Well, I bought the company, and then I immediately flipped it and sold 51% of the company to veterans. And the whole platform was, we're going to do good with this because we're veteran owned, and we're going to donate 5% of our profits to veteran initiatives to support them. And we're going to do this all on the platform that lead sucks. So I went and bought leadsucks.com.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Come on. 9/11 releasing the idea that you have this veteran owned brand. You've got Monster Bass Cares. That's the same thing. I mean, the tie-in, like how cool is this? Like, this is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And so we just launched leadsucks.com today. And I want to talk a little bit about this. I want to bring in one of the investors, and he's actually going to help lead this company. So let's not waste any more time. Let's bring on Matt Brown, who is one of the investors in this company. He's going to help run this company. So what's going on, Matt?
Hey guys, I'm super excited to be here.
I can't tell.
You can't tell? Not at all. The giant beaming smile on my face doesn't help.
I can't tell. You must own a tungsten company.
Right? Doing something good somewhere.
Yeah. So when I brought this idea to you, tell me about, like, I told you what I thought the mission would be for this brand. Tell me about it, what resonated with you.
Well, I mean, first, I am a veteran, so anything we can do to be a part of that community, not for just my generation of vets, but the guys that are, going to come next and the guys that have come before us, and really give back and be a part of that community that really gave so much to us, especially on a day like today where we get to remember, a big reason why I joined, and and just take that and be able to support their reintegration back into normal life, I would say. And this is kind of part of that, being able to have a platform that actually generates something and really wants to benefit veterans.
Love that. I love that. And it's not just about giving back, right? Because we talked about that. We talked about let's take a percentage of the profits. Let's do good with it. And obviously we hope that over time we can turn this into a sizable amount. Let's talk about some of the partnerships you and I have been working on. We're going to announce it. We're not formally there because we're still crossing the T's and dotting the I's. But let's talk about Army Bass Anglers for a little bit. They're a pretty good sized organization. They've got
Huge.
TV shows. They're at events all the time. And one of the first groups that we got together with was Army Bass Anglers, and my good friend Rick Bradley, who, oddly enough, small world. I went to high school with Rick Bradley. Turns out he's in charge of marketing for Army Bass Anglers. That didn't hurt. And they're going to help. They're going to make us the exclusive tungsten provider of Army Bass Anglers, and they're going to help us to generate some awareness. And I know that's really exciting for you as the guy who's going to really be leading the charge for this brand.
I mean, there's something about when you get a group of vets involved. I mean, we do stuff differently sometimes. We're definitely gung ho. We run in, full charge. But the cool thing is we're a brotherhood. We always want to stand behind each other and really wrap arms around each other. So when they wanted to get involved, it was something that it was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing that could happen, just because of the fact that they have such a great platform themselves. But then here is another, organization that can really wrap our arms around as a veteran group as well, and just make this even better.
Yeah. I mean, and not only is it yourself, but we got a few other people that probably will call in tonight. But I feel like I can share some of the names. Actually, I'll wait and see who's calling in and who wants to be a part of it. But the ownership group, I think we've got a combined about 84 years of military service, which is a pretty good number. And
Significant.
And first of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for your belief in what we're trying to do with this. And I feel like we're going to put the brand in really good hands with yourself. And and for everyone that's watching, the role that the outdoor playground, meaning the parent company of Monster Bash, is going to play in it is we're going to handle the back of the house operations, meaning the warehousing, the facility. We'll work to help them develop products for the box, make sure that we're well-rounded in terms of the product set. Because today, where can you buy the product today?
Currently, you can get it on leadsucks.com, and you can also jump onto Tackle Warehouse. So that's a pretty cool thing that it's available there right now. You can jump onto Tackle Warehouse and order every one of our lines that we have out. So
yeah, and you might like this. I just got a PO from Tackle Warehouse for a big reorder. So that's a pretty good way to kick
that'll
off
make you smile.
The very first day.
Right.
First day. Chris, you fish with tungsten, and I know Matt, you guys do. Talk to me about why tungsten is different than just throwing lead.
Yeah, I mean, I'll lean into it just a little bit on the side from a plumbing background. I was a plumbing contractor for 20 years, and the lead sucks side. We think about like going out in the ocean, you're fishing with lead, and I don't even really know the environmental impact of lead in salt water.
Yeah.
But the flip side is a lot of the municipality reservoirs we're fishing in, specifically California, somewhere else, those are drinking water reservoirs. And some of them, you can't even put a motorized boat on them. And so the opportunity to fish with lead is just taken away. I mean, you're contaminating drinking water, which is one part like we all know since like 1970, but lead's been banned. We got paint bans. It messes with kids' developmental things. So just getting rid of lead in fishing for the health of humans, that's super important. So I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't really understand why that's so key. Lead sucks, but there's a real reason it's scientifically proven. So that's the best part. Now going into the fishing, the ability of lead, I mean, you got to have it, I don't know, a quadrillion degrees to actually melt this stuff down. I think it's like 6 or 7, 8,000 degrees. I don't know exactly. But what you get with this whole tungsten is the density rate of this metal is so heavy. The cool part is you can reduce the profile. So if you have a 1 ounce lead weight versus a 1 ounce tungsten weight, the profile is much smaller. Plus the transition of the resonance of movement and sound, and basically they got this first contact name, you're getting contact with the rock or the bottom. So when something that's more dense hits a rock, it translates the sound and transmits the sound better to the line. That frequency comes up to the rod through the eyelets and then eventually back down to your hand. You're actually getting a sharper tone from the tungsten and you have better feedback. If lead is dead, and that's the one thing to kind of remember, is it's not as dense, and so it's just kind of this muffled soft. You can take lead and it bounces and it nicks and bruises or whatever you want to say, but it muffles the feedback you get while you're fishing. So I think those are two things on my like top of mind right away. Is like terrible for the environment, terrible for humans, but also the feedback you get from using tungsten, way better. So go ahead, Matt, give some insights for you, because I know you got some particular things on how you fish.
Well, I mean, so you go back to tungsten, 80s was when even duck hunting outlawed tungsten or outlawed lead entirely. So you can't hunt, waterfowl with any sort of lead shot. You have to use a non-toxic shot. And the reason ties into the fish, eat what's on the bottom, the birds eat what's on the bottom, and so it gets into the food supply, and then you can actually get lead poisoning from eating a contaminated duck or eating a contaminated fish. So when we had the opportunity to even discuss this, it was like, this is a no-brainer. This really is. The fact that you can still continue to fish, the cost isn't exorbitant to increase what you're doing, and you can be environmentally conscious while you do it and just leave the place better than you started. That was a huge thing when this whole idea came to be, was just the fact that we get to be a little better than the rest, and the fact that we 100% will not carry anything lead.
Yeah, we're going to be part of the solution instead of the problem. And there's a lot of companies out there that produce tungsten, but also produce products that are made from lead. We're not going to get into naming names because everyone makes a business decision. But the business decision we've made is we're only going to produce products that are made from tungsten. So really excited about that. Really excited about that. All right, Matt,
can I just share? I want to
please,
share, like, as a
yeah.
I'm a non-veteran. My father was in the Air Force. He was search and rescue. He's done a lot of these cool things. My stepdad was in the Navy. There's a reason we live in this country. The folks that served and that are currently serving, what an amazing thing that's been happening to give us the freedom we have. If I can support a brand that has a connection to that, like, I almost feel like I'm cheating being involved with stuff. Like, I just like to rub the shoulders. I've done some cool stuff with events and talking about events and doing these announcing things. Like the guys that go out and do you give a ruck, and they put on their rucksacks and they go and walk 100 miles to raise money for other people. Like, you think of people that keep giving back. You talk, Matt, about this brotherhood. Like, what a cool thing. You got to buy weights to fish. It's just simple. You're going to buy tungsten if you're doing the right thing. It's going to help you fish better. But if you can also support a brand that's supporting the brotherhood and sisterhood and this human family that's developed from, what a cool deal. Like, I can't even associate in words. I can't even figure out, like, what a cool opportunity. Monster Bass is playing this role to kind of knit this all together, that we can support those that are helping. And then we haven't even talked on where, like, the beneficiary of, like, what we're going to do, the philanthropic idea where this goes full circle.
Right.
I'm just stoked. Like, you get a veteran out on a boat, like, come on, you go buy some weights that you have to use anyway, and then you obviously have an opportunity that the funds trickle down and do good as well. Like, what a win. That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and my ask of everyone watching today is that I know that you have a choice when it comes to purchasing tungsten products. And heck, Monster Bass makes its own tungsten products. My ask of you is not to buy Monster Bass tungsten. My ask of you is to buy tungsten products from First Contact Tungsten, because we're going to be able to do a lot of good with your support. And my other ask is to help us spread the word about this, because this is, the sum of the parts is really important. And if you can tell one person about it, it's gonna go a long way, and it would really mean a lot to all of us. So I thank you in advance for anyone that you do tell about First Contact and leadsucks.com. So
No, and I'm more excited too, because I'm like Matt. I got Matt on speed dial, and Matt and I get to talk about fishing. I'm like, okay, first off, 1 ounce, because I got way into punching, so I need an ounce, and I need an ounce and a quarter, and I want an ounce and a half, and I want an ounce and 3/4, and I want 2 ounces, and like, let's name these things cool names when they're different sizes. But anyway, like, what a cool thing
Nice idea.
to tie into military, to be tying into like different ammo names and all this, just this fun stuff is like the clever side of the marketing to make it fun, to make it unique. Because I mean, that's just part of, like, that to me gets exciting, that you have a connection to people that actually are involved in fishing. Matt, I know how much you love to fish, and I know Rick's going on like this fishing journey that I guess we'll get to a little bit. But how cool is this to be tied in with a brand that's already got a history? You're already making tungsten, but also to be able to manipulate that and to have some insight. And man, I'm excited. Can you tell us, like, right now? I know there's some weights and some different things.
yeah.
Is Monster Bass leaning towards, say, if we're going to be working on a spinner bait, is the goal down the road to be a weighted tungsten spinnerbait head? Is that the goal later on?
Yeah, so we are currently in talks with the factories that we work with, because we do work with 3 or 4 different manufacturers. And we recently had discussions with a bait designer and manufacturer that manufactures for 20 plus brands that are at Tackle Warehouse. And I'm going to get together with them in the next couple of weeks, and that's the goal, to see if we can't start to produce more of those, more items that are made from tungsten. In addition to the traditional the traditional tungsten weights that that you typically see. Here's one that we just came in, and I think I showed this to you guys last week. I'll try and put it on the screen. I don't know if I can, but this is a weedless wacky rig jig head. Yeah, and it's made from tungsten, and they just came in. I've got the first set. They're not even on the website yet, I think, but they'll be on Monday, and we're gonna look to start to developing a full line, so that it's not just weights. It's, you name it. It's skirted jigs. It's jig heads. It's pretty much everything that you can look toward or look for in fishing. And then one of the other things that we talked about is we're really going to look ahead to other markets like Japan, because it seems like everything starts in Japan and then we knock it off over here and make it our own. And there's a number of things over there being really leveraged, and we're going to look to bring those products and bring them into Monster Bass. And one of the great things about the partnership between First Contact and Monster Bass is that Monster Bass is always going to need product for the boxes, and the ability for us to not have to go to a third party, so to speak, to find tungsten products or ask them to develop things for us. The ability for us to say, hey, we want weedless, wacky rig tungsten jig heads. We can produce those things in partnership with First Contact and bring them to everyone. So we're going to make sure that we give you guys not just traditional weights, but you name it, jig heads and other types of products. So really excited to be able to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's funny when you think of the bladed jig idea. I know when we had John on here from, the Donkey Slayer, he's only using a tungsten weight on the front of his bladed jig. And that's the irony, is when you think of a bladed jig and the idea where that blade can actually touch and hit that weight, if that weight is lead, it dents, it absorbs that knock from the blade. So it's like these cool opportunities to actually make baits environmentally better, Now you have this social connection to having it be veteran owned, but also it's going to perform better. You're going to catch more fish. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Really excited about that.
I love this. I love being able to take a smaller profile too. Nothing's better, if you're trying to use a Ned rig or something small like that and you want to control your fall rate, being able to have a little smaller profile and fit it in that really tight spot sometimes is really nice.
Perfect.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, Matt, listen, I want to thank you for being a part of this. And I don't think this will be the last time we have you on the show. I think there's a lot that we're going to be hearing about from First Contact. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this and believing in the idea. And I look forward to all the good that we're going to get to do together. So thank you very much.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Super
awesome.
excited.
Me too. Is there anything you want to leave us with? Some parting notes?
Need to go grab some First Contact tungsten. It's available.
That's right. Lead sucks. But wait, hey, I just want to know, when do we get the shirts that say lead sucks? That's all I'm really here for.
We're totally
all I'm here
Already in the works.
Already in the works, yeah. And for those that are wondering, yes, we offer a discount. And so if you are military, first responder, any of those categories that you know that we love to support, you can enter all your credentials at checkout and you'll save some money. Both here and at Tackle Warehouse. My preference would be for you to go to Tackle Warehouse, but if you want to buy from us, no problem. We really appreciate it. And thank you again, Matt, for coming on the show. And,
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Matt,
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Man.
He's so excited. You can just tell he's all fired up. Guy's been talking about grande bass. He's been catching a lot of fish. The dude's a stud, and now connection with this, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. And I think I keep getting texts from other people that want to see if they can jump on the on and talk about this. Let me just see. Is anyone on the phone line right now, Fixie? Let me see who it is. Yep, take it. All right, so this next caller, you put him on. All right. So the next caller is also an owner in this company, and he is a veteran himself. Let's give it up for Mr. John Carroll, better known as Mongo Fishing.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
What's
How
up,
are
Rick?
you?
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Everything went all right today with the doctors?
It did. They sent a sample in for biopsy, and assuming that comes back fine, then I think it'll come back fine. I'm praying it'll come back fine.
Yeah,
Then I won't worry about it.
Yeah, we're praying with you too. So tell us a little bit about your military experience.
Yeah. So I'm Mongo Fishing, John Carroll. I did 25 years total active duty. 5 of those as a military police officer sort of person in the Air Force, and then 20 years disarming bombs as explosive ordnance disposal was the official career field. Did 7 combat deployments, and I got to travel the world and safe explosive devices all throughout the world.
Wow, we thank you for your service.
Excuse my language. I'm just going to say
Thank you for your
badass. Like that. Seriously, like that's incredible. That's
Yeah,
not
they made
worthy over
movies
here.
about this guy.
Thank you.
It's like, come on, seriously.
Not
Hey,
about me.
no, but the role you've played, like seriously, I'm just gonna say thank you from the bottom of my heart on today. Like it's emotional. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. It means a lot.
Yeah.
So something I was going to point out, and this is kind of I don't know, nerdy, I guess, but some people may dig it. So the reason why tungsten can be smaller than lead, right, is it comes down to specific gravity. Tungsten weighs more, basically, if you want to think about it this way, it weighs more in water than lead does. Just like, the reason why they don't make steel fishing weights is because you would take a bunch of steel to make the same size weight, right? So because of that specific gravity difference, with tungsten being heavier, it's closer to the weight of gold without it being the softness of gold. So you can make a more compact size to get down deeper faster, if you will.
I did not
Yeah,
know.
Rick,
That matters
Rick,
to anybody or not.
Rick, yeah, Rick fishes with gold weights just because he can. That way he can have the smallest profile. They're a little
Platinum.
softer, but yeah, he's got platinum gold. That's really kind of, he's blinged out a little bit. So he's just one step above the tungsten, but that's all right.
Right. But no, seriously. So because of that, that's why you can make it such a smaller package. And then, gold not only would be just financially irresponsible, it's soft. And so therefore you wouldn't feel the bottom the same way you feel tungsten. Tungsten is a very hard metal. So that's part of your contact, if you will.
Well, there you go. So John, you're an owner in this company, and
Yes, sir.
tell me why the opportunity to be a part of this was an easy decision for you.
Oh, so because first right off the bat, we're I don't want to say reaching back. I don't know how to word it. We're giving back. There's the words. We're giving back to the veteran community. And well, I mean, I don't know. It's just something I feel like that I have to do anyway.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't know, part of what I do. I donated my personal thing, and I'm certainly not rich. I live off the fixed income, but I donated more money in charity last year to veteran organizations than I paid in taxes.
Wow.
$1,000
John,
more to charity.
John, I know there's a weird delay, but I got to jump in. Can you give us some insight? Because I think this is one thing. I get to do a lot of charitable things. Tie in, I mean, 7 tours, all the different things you've done. What does it mean to connect fishing into that? And how does fishing fill that void, like the therapeutic side? How is fishing a major benefit to combat veterans and different things? Like, bring me down that road a little bit, because I think that's an important thing to tie fishing directly into the service to veterans.
It really is. So, and we can even talk about Army bass anglers if you want, because I worked. I was one of their pro staff members years and years and years ago, and one of the things they did was take veterans on. There's like this big annual fishing tournament that happens in Texas every year, and they help put it on. Like, I think it's in probably 2 weeks. I'm not going to make it this year because I have another doctor's appointment, but it's like 100 and some odd boats, and it's volunteer people taking another veteran out to go fishing. And as a veteran myself, so I've done it from both sides. I've done it as the boat captain, and I've done it as the veteran fisherman. And it's an incredible feeling on both sides. I can't describe it. It's just it's that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when everything is right. And we don't have to be catching fish. That's the best part about it. Is like I can get out there with 2 random people I don't know, or a random person I don't know, and let them vent to me if they want to talk. And if they don't want to talk, that's fine too. We just want to fish, that's fine too. But having another veteran ear that they can reach out to and talk to, I think it seriously helps. There are several of my fishing friends that I go out with, and I have my camera recording, and I can't put any of that content out because to me it would feel like a violation of trust. So because we share some intimate stuff. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
more than enough. Like, just the fact that there's a connection between the veterans, having a person that's experienced some of the similar things. I think you can't. I mean, talking about therapy, all the different things, the offerings out there, and then to tie in fishing with something that's completely disassociated with the service and whatever they were experiencing, to have something that a common ground to bring them together and to give them this escape, I think that's so important. So how cool is that?
It's awesome. Well, hey guys, I'm going to get going unless you have any other questions for me, Rick.
No, I appreciate it. And thank you for sharing with me today when we're chatting via text. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you. And thank you for your service.
I appreciate you, man. I love it. I love everything about you. I've been to the house. By the way, Rick's got a baller ass house. It's I love everything about the Monster Bass Company. I love everything about all of this. I couldn't wait to jump on this grenade, if you will. It was actually that's a bad example.
Yeah.
Jumping on a grenade is a bad example. I couldn't wait to jump. I couldn't wait to jump on this opportunity. Yeah, better choice of words.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time out of your day today and giving us a call. So thank you so much.
No worries, man. You guys have a fantastic night.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
All right. Bye. I love that guy.
What a stud. I got emotional, like talking to him, just listening to his story, the amount of service alone. Yeah. Like, I'm glad I was wearing sunglasses. Like that is what a giving soul, runs towards danger, all those things you think about with 9/11. That guy's lived that his entire life. Like, that's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah. I think we got another caller. Let's let him on. This caller also is a veteran, and Chauncey Cotton, thank you for your service. How long did you serve this country?
I served this country for 21 years, and thanks for having me on, Rick.
Thank you, and thank you for being an owner in this company as well, and your belief in the cause and the mission, so to speak. What made you want to be a part of it?
Well, actually, you reached out to me and said you were going to acquire this company and gave me the phenomenal opportunity to be part of it because you wanted to have it more veteran owned than you owning the business.
Yeah. And
I thought that was amazing. And so I definitely had to jump on that opportunity because why wouldn't I, right? So, and I very much appreciate that handout to me. I really do appreciate that.
Well, I don't know that it's a handout. I think it's more of me presenting an opportunity and you being a part of something that I think is bigger than just, owning a company. I think, me buying it and immediately flipping it and giving the owner, basically going from the sole owner to the minority owner, and you being a part of that ownership group is it really means a lot to me. And I think we're gonna do some really great things. Now you're fishing. What is it, this week or next week?
Next week is Fishing for Freedom. What Mongo was talking about. It's I've been doing it for the past 12 years. Even though I'm a veteran myself, I actually take other veterans, whether they're retired or active duty, out fishing during this event. And I get to connect with other veterans that are in different jobs within the military, that I get to know just a little bit about their field that I wasn't in. Because I was in the infantry and I was an MP like Mongo for a while. So, yeah.
Amazing. And you giving back to, taking your boat out, giving back, helping other vets is a really a beautiful thing. And so thank you for that as well.
Yep. And the thing is, with this event, the Army Bass Anglers actually took over this event last year for the first time. So this is their second year running Fishing for Freedom. I think they're doing an amazing job making sure that it continues, because it was going to end completely, but they took it over and wanted to make sure that the veterans get out in the water. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And now I get to represent the company, First Contact Tungsten in this, and it's all for veterans too. So it's just a win-win.
Yeah. Beautiful. Awesome. So thank you.
There's actually a couple of things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
There's actually a couple of things that were mentioned that I was going to mention, but there's some things that weren't mentioned. one of the biggest things between lead and tungsten to me is that lead actually frays your line when it's going through the eyelid of the tungsten. So when it slides up and down that line, it actually frays it more than tungsten does. Tungsten's like a polished, smooth, and it makes it just non-abrasive to your fishing line. And I really like tungsten because of that. And also, most tungsten nowadays has printed the size of the weight on the side of it, and that's even better because you're not fumbling around through your tackle box trying to find the right weight and stuff like that. But
thank you. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, listen, Chauncey, I know you just moved into your new house. I know you got a ton of things. I'm really appreciative that you called in today. I know 9/11, is significant for you, and I thank you for being a part of all of this. I thank you for your support and belief in Monster Bass, and I thank you for your support and belief enough to become an owner in First Contact Tungsten. So I'm glad that you're part of this, and so thank you very much.
I really appreciate you, Rick. Thank you.
Yeah.
And for what you do to the veteran community, thank you.
You're very welcome. Hopefully we can do a lot more with the money that we make at First Contact Tungsten. So thanks a lot for calling in, Kyle.
I look forward to it.
Thank you, man.
All right. Yep.
Thanks.
See ya.
And if you're just tuning in, we purchased First Contact Tungsten. 5% of all of our profits will go toward veteran initiatives. And I am not a majority owner in the company. I immediately bought it and sold it. And we are 51% owned by veterans. And we're going to do a lot of good with this. So if you're looking for tungsten, because I know you have a choice, you can head over to Tackle Warehouse and buy First Contact Tungsten, or you can hit up leadsucks.com and you can support us there. So
I want to be involved in this marketing because the people we're talking to, like, I want them all lined up with this lead sucks. Cause like, I feel like if I use lead right now, I'm going to get beat up. Like they're going to get me literally they're coming after you. And it would be so fun to see all the different armed forces and all the different people that they've worked with or what. It's just like, oh my gosh, this group of individuals that are just calling in that are part of this ownership.
Yeah.
You can't mess with them. Like I'm using First Contact because one, I'm kind of nervous. Like if I don't, like what, they're gonna come get me. But then to have that, the connection with this business ownership on your side with his brotherhood, sisterhood, like part of the family, like sign me up. I was thinking in my mind, like there's that, I think it's Black Rifle Coffee, and the guy was in his tank and he was like making his own little espressos and stuff, and the story and the history of that. Like what a cool thing to have these folks that are coming out that are veterans, that are anglers, and they're all coming together. They have all these different backgrounds. Like this is going to be exciting to see how this plays out. So what a neat thing that you've been able to knit this thing together.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we've got one other caller that is coming on the line. So let's give a big warm welcome to another veteran that is part of this ownership group. So let's give it up for Gramps.
Yeah.
Hello, Gramps.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I was so happy that you got this announcement out. Seems like this has been in the works forever and a day.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of tungsten for like last couple of years, ever since Monster Bass got into packaging and marketing it and, selling it on the site, putting it in the packages, because I would always buy every little bit that I could find on the site because it's so hard to find these days. But I'm a huge fan of tungsten. I mean, it's like we used to talk, quite a bit about it, where I always loved the fact that, especially when I throw a Carolina rig, because I still go old school sometimes, being able to feel that substrate, that rock bottom, differentiating between what's a soft bottom with a hard bottom, and just having that sensitivity coming back up through, a lot of the fluorocarbon line I fish with, along with, I was telling you even the other day, I like the tiniest stuff that I can get my hands on, because it keeps from getting snagged in the rocks because it's so much smaller than lead. It keeps from nicking your line, potentially losing your fish. I mean, I've had a video script written for I don't know, over a year now because I saw a post on somebody's page called "Is Tungsten a Scam?" And it's like I literally wrote out about 6 or 7 different reasons outside of even the conservation, lead versus tungsten, about why tungsten is such a competitive advantage in being able to feel even the smallest of bites, or more importantly, not being able to feel anything at all, which means you need to set the hook. So absolutely fantastic and happy that we're finally at announcement day and you're getting it launched. And like you said, it's already on Tackle Warehouse. Man, what a great day. I mean,
Yeah.
and everybody knows that I love, talking monster bass with anybody and everybody out there because of programs like this, because of Monster Bass Cares. Myself and a few bunch of friends who go by our, call ourselves the Freedom Squad. It's doing exactly what, John and the rest of them are talking about, taking other veterans out fishing. We also do the same thing where we have get-togethers and let people get out on the water and ease their minds and share their stories, either on camera or off, and sometimes just, get outside and enjoy the recreational therapy that we all need these days, just to get away from the normal hustle and bustle and really do it. So I was super happy to see this live get scheduled and you make that announcement too. So kudos and just, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being a part of this. I think together, helping to spread the word about this is going to really make a big difference, and I think we're going to be able to do a lot of good through First Contact Tungsten.
Hey, Gramps, can
Excellent.
I ask you?
Still can't wait for it, but I'll let you guys.
I want to ask you a question because I know a lot of times you've been talking forever about kayaks. You're big into the kayaks. You got a great following on social media. But every time we do these shows, we got some first time people listening. You specifically are in kayaks. Tell us a little bit about that as your experience of bringing veterans out on a kayak for the first time, because I have a lot of history with that, and so close to the water, so intimate. Paddling out right next to somebody. Give us some insight of what that is, maybe a first time experience that you've brought somebody out on the water. Talk us through that with bringing a veteran out on a kayak for the first time. How's it different than a boat?
Well, honestly, it's kind of funny because I also have a boat just in case a kayak isn't as suitable. But
Right.
having that kind of experience of being on the water, obviously you have to have a kayak that you trust with somebody else's life. And a lot of this we actually learned from Heroes on the Water, which was an organization or is an organization that takes veterans out on the water all the time too. But a lot of the times it's somebody who's just bank fished or just is interested in seeing what we're about. So we have get-togethers. Our good friend Ralph, Army Outdoors, who hops in here all the time, is a boater, but we put him in a kayak for the first time ever during our Freedom Squad get together before he took off for California. But I mean, there'll be other times that we had a recent. We ran into a young man recently that was so excited and had such a good time. I actually ended up selling him a kayak so he can upgrade from the not so stable, not so sturdy one that he had. And of course, I made him a stupid, crazy killer deal that he couldn't refuse, and he has been thoroughly enjoying his time on the water. He's been out with Jeremy several times fishing, just so they can, Jeremy can kind of school him a little bit and get him kind of up to speed. But yeah, it's really cool. But our one of our mottos, working through kayak bass fishing and Chad Hoover, under the Fish Ops program, of which Ops stands for Operation Prevent Suicide. So we're all in this mission together. The whole mission is each one reach one. And then when we reach one, we teach one. And once we get somebody schooled up on that, then they can take what they've learned and once they get some experience under their belt, then they can pay it forward to take others out as well. So one person at a time, one kayak at a time. We're building a squad full of freedom-loving Americans who want to get other people out and get them on the water and just enjoying nature. And it could be a one-on-one. It could be a group of 10. It varies from time to time. And sometimes, you just want to be out there and enjoy a sunrise by yourself. And sometimes that's what it takes. But yeah, it's great. We're not like a formal organization. we're just a group of fishing loving people. And, Ralph used to join us in his boat. So you'd have 4 dudes in a kayak and a boat. And, he would be just on his trolling motor, following along with us. And we're all just yapping and fishing all at the same time. So the squad's not just limited to kayaks. We welcome everybody. But the goal is to get everybody out there and just enjoy that great outdoors that we all love.
Love it.
So good. So good. Gramps, thanks for calling in, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, brother.
All right. Thank you. All right. I think we talked a little bit about first contact tungsten today. And I'd love to move on really quick for a second. Well, I've still got you, Chris. Someone in the chat asked about how to fish Ragnar, which is a 4 3/4 inch topwater spook, so to speak, with 3 treble hooks, and he wanted to know the best way to fish that bait.
That's my favorite. That is literally, if you said you can only have one bait for the rest of your life to go and fish,
Really?
that's my favorite topwater. If I could, that's it. Throw that thing as far as you can. I'm just going to tell you, just huck the thing all the way across as far as you can. There's different things that play in here. Is obviously time of day, fishing the right conditions. You're looking for a fish that's coming up. It's going to ambush, whether you're at a point, you're at a steep bank, whatever. Sometimes in the middle of the day, it works great if the water's choppy, but really you're looking for a fish. Works really good in low light situations. That bait is chugging across the top of the water, and it's a walking bait. And the reason, if you imagine a fish, they have fish eyes. They're on the top of their head, and they kind of see almost all the way around them.
Yeah.
Nothing in nature evades in this walking direction naturally. So if you think of great time talking about veterans and armed forces, all these different things. If somebody is like shooting at you, everyone says run away and zigzag. So if you think of something trying to get away from a predator fish, that walking bait, zigzagging back and forth, and this is going scientific, that's making that fish so crazy because it's moving above that fish, side to side, side to side. So you cast this thing and you pulse it and you're jerking it back with the twitch of the rod, not real tension. And so you twitch, reel, twitch, reel, twitch, reel. The cool part is you got this Ragnar, and I don't know which generation they've got, but you've got a feather on the back end if you've got one of the newer ones. So that feather is super important. When you cast out a bait that has a feather hook, air molecules, bubbles basically go onto that feather. So as it sits, it's releasing little bubbles. If you barely twitch it, it chugs a little bit of water, but it also releases some bubbles, giving it more of a natural presentation of maybe something wounded. You almost always have your red hook up front that could be like this bleeding gill. So all these fun details that Monster Bass ties in, but you're basically casting that. And when I say cast it far away, is a lot of times you want to make sure that if these fish are looking in especially clear water, they can see 20, 30, 40 feet away. And so you want to make sure, whether you're on a boat or a kayak from the bank, you're casting really far away so you haven't spooked the fish. And I like to call it putting them down. You throw it out there and you start walking this bait back towards you. Don't be afraid to pause it. I shared in a show a while ago, a buddy of mine's a guide, and he talks about letting these things, whether it's a popper or a walking bait, sit for 15 to 20 seconds. I don't have that kind of patience. I can't do that. But to have these things sit there and chug it, move it, and rattle it, twitch, 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 moving it fast, it's all about figuring out the cadence of retrieve. But a walking bait is specifically made to go back and forth, and make its way back towards you. And so you're gonna get some bites. There's tons of videos out there, but that is an incredible way to catch fish. The other reason it's so fun is that bait is taken from the top of the water. The fish is already at the top, and almost always it's very acrobatic. So visually, as humans, we like to see what's going on. You get to see the take. A lot of times you get to hear it. I fish a walking bait at night, and I fish just audibly. I hear it twitch, 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 twitch coming back, and then you just hear that gulp. And what's cool is normally you got 3 hooks on there. You got a really great hookup chance. The only thing I'll add in there is 3 hooks has a great chance to stick one of those into the fish. Also, a really good chance to stick one into your hand. I've had more spooks in my fingers with those hooks than any other bait across the board. So that is one thing to take into consideration. Net is your really good friend. A good pair of pliers is also your friend once you catch that fish and you're de-hooking it. But awesome bait to use.
Perfect. Great. Thank you for that feedback. I know that Austin in the chat was interested in all that. I want to make sure we gave him some real-time tips. Do me a favor if you're still watching. Hit that thumbs up button for us. I think that I read somewhere in the chat that there was like 19 people that hit the thumbs up. I mean,
Come on.
Come on. We might as well just cancel the show if only 19 people liked it. That's a rough number. What do you say we look at some trophy room picks? Let's see what people are catching. Yeah.
See what they got.
Yeah. So if you're new to the show, we love to celebrate your catches, big and small, whatever you're proud of. So if you've got something that you're really excited about, head over to monsterbass.com/PB, upload your picture. If we use it, we'll send you a little something. And we're going to share whatever you catch with the community. So without further ado, let's get those pictures up there, Fixie. Our first catch today. Our first one is from Dalton Cooper, 4 pounds, 6 ounces, Arizona. I mean, it kind of looks like he's standing at a backdrop.
That's all I was going to ask is like, what is that backdrop or overlays on the photo? Like, it's looking good.
Yeah. Maybe he's on the cover of Coastal Angler magazine. I mean, he's not really on the coast, but caught on an Alabama rig. Nice catch. All right. Next up is Chad Price, 8 pounds, 14 ounces.
Hugging that bad boy. That's a good one.
Alabama, he caught that on a minnow. Now, is that a live minnow or is that a?
Yeah.
Do we deduct points for live?
No, heck no way. Hey, he's out there catching fish. We'll get him into the Monster Bass family at some point. We got lots of baits that look like minnows. Even that Ragnar, that's a minnow evading something across the top. So good for him.
All right, this one's a big one. Reuben Province in a kayak,
Love it.
11 pounds, 8 ounces in Oklahoma on a Senko.
Look how happy he is.
I mean, yeah, I'd be happy with that too. And I think he's happy. I think Matt Brown is sad because that guy crushed an 11-pounder in his home state, and he hasn't.
I'm not in the double-digit crew either, so good for Reuben.
Yeah, me either. All right, next up, Caden Johnson, 2 pounds, 8 ounces on a spinner bait out of Ohio. I love it.
Heck yes. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I told you there was a young kid. I'm actually bringing some socks and a Monster Bass bag to him in Seattle. He's 9 years old. He caught his first fish ever. It happened to be a bass. He's super stoked. So we're making a delivery, driving 800 miles up to give this kid some gear. But yeah, 2.8, like be proud of that thing. That's rad.
Yeah, totally. All right, next up is Chris Panberthy, 5 pounds out of Missouri on a Monster Bass Diver White. I wonder what that means, a Diver White. Maybe it's a crankbait. I don't know.
It's got a belly. That's a good fish. That's a great fish. I like to see the belly of that fish. The fish's mouth should not be the biggest thing on a bass. The belly, they're supposed to be fat, so that's a good-looking fish.
Yeah, sure is. Sure is. I'd take that all day long. And then last but not least, Thomas Haynes, a.k.a. T-Rex. What in God's name is that? 13 pounds, 11 ounces.
13 pounds of hair? Is that what we got up there?
I don't know. Is he wearing a kitty t-shirt?
I see like wings. I'm not sure what's going on.
It's like he's from Kitten Play. I mean, all right.
It's a good look. Good look.
It's a good look for T-Rex. Only he can pull it off, so... There you have it. If you want a shot at having your catches featured on a Monster Bass Live, just upload them at monsterbass.com/PB, and we're gonna send you a little something. So thanks a lot for everyone that sent something in. We'll get something out to you a little bit later, and I think we should probably do a golden ticket.
Let's do it.
Again,
what do they get? Yeah, how does this work? What do they get? And tell me the details.
Yeah, so you got an individually numbered golden ticket in your box. And, they went away for a little bit. And, of course, I get my box before everyone else does. So we didn't even have the marketing materials printed up at the time that I got mine. So I don't actually have a golden ticket to show everyone. But you know how it works. It's like Willy Wonka. I call out your number, you email me at marketing@monsterbass.com, picture of you and the ticket so I can read that number, and we'll send you something pretty good. Actually, we're going to send you something really good. I don't know. I said pretty good. We're going to send you something really good. So let's pull out the number. I wrote it down earlier. The number is golden ticket number 2509. 2509. If you've got that number, like I said, email me at marketing.com or marketing@monsterbass.com, and we will hook you up. And each and every week, we will pull another golden ticket number and send one lucky person a prize. So you got a month. You got a month to get back to me. So don't call me. Don't
can
call
I
me
throw this out
12
there?
months. Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever the prize is,
Yeah.
if they do not call in, can it be carried over? Just added? Just a bundle? If they don't claim it, I just want to do the carryover because it's like at some point, somebody's going to claim this thing and they're going to get a truckload. Can I propose that? Propose that live.
I love the idea, but what happens if I couldn't make it tonight? I watched it on the rewind next week.
Well, no, they get until you got to decide like what's that cutoff, and then just keep bundling it in. I'd like them to say, hey, this is the incentive to watch live. They've got 1 week, and then it's bundled into the next one.
1 week. If you haven't claimed it by the time we go live next week, we just carry it over.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling out live tickets. It's like you went from hero to zero. You didn't get your number, so next week, adding into the pot.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Gotta watch the show. We'll give you a week. That's plenty of time.
Yeah. So now, are you getting back on the road right after this?
I got like 6 more
17?
hours. No, I might just grab a quick shower. My family actually pulled up because we're kind of caravanning. They pulled up. They're waving at me. They said goodbye. They're actually heading up. They're going to get to the hotel. So I've still got, I don't know, like 5 hours. I'm just crushing it. I got pork rinds, some snacks. I did stop off the freeway. There's supposed to be this great Mexican restaurant. Closed on Wednesdays. Seriously.
Wednesdays closed.
Wednesday closed in Oregon. So, like I just shook my head and walked away. So no, I still got some road windshield time, we like to call it in the trucking business. So it's all good.
Yeah, amazing. Actually, Gramps just brought up another good point. What if we call a number and the person hasn't gotten their box yet, and 2 weeks from now they get the ticket?
Ooh, I mean, you're gonna have to give them. We'll have to work through these details. Give them their allotted time, but if it doesn't get claimed, it has that package has to fall back in. So you have to give us this rolling update. So give them 1 month.
Maybe I have to change this golden ticket idea to their order number because everybody gets an order number. I got to think this through before we fully commit to this. I could see a scandal coming. I don't like it. I don't like scandals.
Gramps is on it. Gramps, nice call because he's like, no, somebody could get that a little late. Yeah. And they're like, by the way, that's my ticket. So good call. We got to work through it.
Yeah. So
I just like the, Price is Right, Showcase Showdown. You get within a certain number. You get both showcases. So this way, I just like keep making the pot bigger. I just like that.
Ooh, I like that. Well, we got a great show next week too. We're going to be talking about fall transition baits. Are you going to be on the road somewhere or?
Yeah, I'm fishing. I'm back home.
No truck stops.
No truck stops. No, it was cool. I was in San Francisco. I came home. I went out. I just had to go fish for like half an hour. I caught a fish, made me happy, pacified the time. Now I'm getting up to Seattle. I'll be back home Monday, and I'll be back on the water, fish a little bit. So fall transition. It's supposed to rain by the time I left my house, like you, over 100. Yeah. It's supposed to rain before I get back home. It's going to be fall when I get home. So I'll probably have to light a fire by the time I get back to my house and warm the place up. And I'm talking top water, that bait, that Ragnar right now, this is when the water gets a little cooler. Everyone talks about the time to start thinking about fall transition is like when you need a sweatshirt in the morning for the first time. You got some fish that are starting to feed up. Lots of different baits work, and so we'll talk all about that next week. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, love it. Well,
what about you? Can you give us a little hint? Like you're talking about fishing a little bit. You're talking about maybe coming up here, but maybe connecting with some guides. How's that going?
I've committed to fishing twice a month with a guide up on Castaic, and I'm gonna film the process, and I'm gonna take everyone on my journey. And Hopefully I don't make a fool out of myself. But even if I do, I'm going to share that with everyone, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah,
that's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for. This is the fun of it. I
Yeah.
was filming the other day. I had the monster bass. I'm going to share it probably this next week. But I have the monster bass bag. I was going through it, and a dude on the other side of my camera, I'm watching him. He fell off his boat, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I'm trying to be serious over here, talk about different baits. I spin the camera around. He's swimming back to his buddy to get on. So we're hoping, we get to see some of those live things when you're out fishing. I mean, what a cool lake that is. I know there's Castaic. The baits have been in the box before, and it's good. Take some namesake baits, monster bass stuff out on Lake Castaic. You're going to catch some fish. That's going to be cool.
Yep. All right. Well, listen, we're going to let you get on the road. Thanks a lot for taking time out of your trip to be with us. It was a great show, and thank you so much. And I hope you have a great time with your family. And tell Diplo, of course, Monster Bass hi, because he whenever he's fishing, he's throwing monster bass. So.
Dude, I'm gonna maybe we'll give him some monster bass stuff. So no, I appreciate it. I do want to close on I'll just say goodbye, but really, veterans, first responders, thank you. That's what an incredible show. Total emotional connection. What Monster Bass Cares does to be connected with this first contact. Like, what a neat thing. So thank you to all you folks. Thank you, Rick. Thanks for having me on the show. It's been a blast, and we'll check in with you next week.
All right, we'll see you later.
I'll see you.
All right, thanks. All right, guys, listen, we thank you guys so much for being a part of the show tonight. Lead sucks is a really, I think it's a, first contact tungsten in our mission is going to be really important, and you're going to play a key role in it. So again, you can buy tungsten anywhere. We're going to price it right. It's going to be competitive. And if it doesn't matter who you buy it from, then why not buy it from an organization that cares about our veterans? Because our veterans sacrificed. They and their families made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can sit here and do the things that we do. So let's all work together so that we can give back and make a difference. It means a lot, and I just want to say thank you. So tell a friend, tell whoever. Leadsucks.com, first contact tungsten. Thank you guys so much. I'm jumping on a plane tomorrow. I'm going to see Bruce Springsteen in Baltimore. I'm really excited. I'm going to fly there, fly back, and see a couple high school friends. So I'm really excited to see them. And but we'll be back next week with another great show, talking fall transition baits. We'll see you guys soon. Hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget, you can find this podcast anywhere: Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you guys next week.